Hello and welcome back to JOKAKAKA. There was a hiatus, but we're back. There always is at least once a year. I'm Jim.
I'm Sam. There you go. I know we had a month hiatus.
I was trying to bogart the podcast intro a little too long.
So much has happened in between this hiatus, so it's fair. We both been to Japan in the meantime.
We both did go to Japan. Stick around at the end of the episode. We will have a little conversation where we talk about some of our Japan experiences, mostly revolving the JoJo variety.
The JoJo parts of it. But yes, we're back. We're here with Chapter 9, The Owner of the Lava Rock.
The Owner of the Lava Rock.
But before we talk about it, do you want to read off the patrons' names? If you remember that we have a Patreon, if you want your name shouted out on this podcast for JOKAKAKA episodes, you can just, whatever you're comfortable leaving, just leave in there, and we will read your name at the beginning of every episode.
Thank you to Perpetually Angry, Tactical Zebra GJ, REN Blintz, Blueface, Illicit Pencil, SBN Rustic, Classic Andy,
Classic.
Ninonen, Sabat, Harrison French, and Call Me K. We have a lot. Maybe we should. We'll talk about this later. But thank you, everyone. We love our patronies.
I'm just thinking of Blueface, like Tobias. I just blew myself.
we love our little Joe Cox out there.
Yes.
Thank you again for supporting us. It's much appreciated. So, yes. All right, we would love to jump right into.
Yes. So yeah, we're back. I think this is probably my favorite chapter for JoJoLands, I think.
This has been a good one.
This is like classic feeling of like random misadventure along with the standees are nearby.
I have to say the stuff with Dragona has been like extremely enjoyable
Chef's
for me.
kiss.
I really love the whole idea of like, all right, let's test out our crazy new like toy, and then like it's like the meme, like, oh my god, I'm like dealing with the consequences of my actions. Like, I tried to joke around by stealing some watches. Oh no, I have to deal with this now. It was very fun. I love how it's resolved. It's very funny. It's very classic, like JoJo humor.
This is very much like part 4 when they try to get the money.
Exactly.
And hijinks ensue. Like, oh, what do we expect going as high schoolers to go to the bank to get money? Like, but yeah, I love the chapter. Also, starts with a phone call from mom. Lily says that.
Yeah, and it's great too because I love what's her name, Barbara.
Her fashion,
Barbara Ann.
I love her fashion sense is great.
It's great. I also do like having her in here because like that's kind of a thing in JoJo where it's just like the main character goes off and he's never like thinks about his mom ever again.
Part 3 had that, and part 4 had the mom be in there as well, but not nearly as much.
That's true.
The family factor of part 4, where like it was the grandfather, then he's killed off, then the mom is only like a factor in Enigma, and then not a factor afterwards.
Yeah, and it's more so too just like the tone of this is closer to like Gold Experience for me.
Where, part 5
it feels like in part 5 it was like they were just, the gang was together, they were so isolated because they were on the run,
and also
that's kind of what it feels like now.
In
but
part
it's like
5,
mom is still like calling.
In the part 5, the flashbacks are like, oh yeah, this is why the parents aren't a factor in part 5, because his real dad is a mobster that he like that he told off or told cops away from it. And part 6 is all about daddy issues.
Yeah,
the mom does not exist in that.
That's and it's also like Jotaro is like a character. Yeah. Like we know why Jotaro's back, but it's honestly fun, and I like seeing Barbara because we need to know more about her. JoJo
always had the family being a little thing in there throughout every part. I guess they're always referenced to. In part 8, it was a factor, and then
it's also, I would just say, like a little different because it felt like they were more integrated into the story.
Yes, they are still a parent that's in their lives, not just like a parent you have issues with in some way.
Yeah, a sort of unspoken grudge.
You're not like, I'm an asshole to my, or if they do this, I'm an asshole to my parent. That's my gimmick.
So, we didn't talk about it, but also they did release the first official coloring of Jodio with his stand, which name I forget.
November Rain,
thank you. I would not have pulled that out of my ass because it was not said in this chapter. Which is cool. I recommend looking at that photo if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, which is funny because I think are people more positive towards that color scheme, I'm guessing?
The only like commentary I saw on it was someone said that because it was like blue, it kind of looked like he had Miku hair. So someone,
I saw
someone
that.
drew him with like Miku Hatsune
That's what
hair.
that's for.
Um,
It's funny because I've been too distracted by people complaining about they took like the official color, the Shueisha color scheme for Toru and Wonder Review for All Star.
We'll talk about that shit later.
Yeah. So, but yeah, talking to his mom, everything's fine. Don't worry.
I love that she's like, "What do you want for dinner?" Oh well. So another thing to note here too. Once again, I do not speak Japanese, but Jodio's mom is saying he when referring to Dragona. So what must be happening in Japanese is that she is using a masculine pronoun for Dragona, or at least like a masculine hinting one. Because what I had learned before is that Dragona had used a personal pronoun in Japanese that a lot of like effeminate men use.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where it's like still is read as male, but it's often said by I guess gay and effeminate men.
Okay.
So it's just very different. I know everyone's shitting their britches about pronouns nowadays, but in Japan, I mean, also that's stupid to be annoyed at, but in Japan, pronouns are like an extremely like deep thing with like identity. Like you're like people will say like a certain pronoun when they're a child, and they will have a different one when they get older. Men and women use like different pronouns. I got
getting through, I tend not to care anymore after going through the One Piece issue with that with Yamato.
Oh yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. So no spoilers.
There's no spoilers. People lost their minds during that, even though there is like another way more trans character in that arc.
That's very funny.
And I'm like, no one's talking about this base ass character over here though.
All right, no spoilers.
No spoilers, but you will understand. I'm like, this is people have to shit over your mind. That's weird.
So I just thought that was kind of interesting. So yes,
chicken burritos.
Also, once again, like I want to just kind of relitigate this whole thing. So initially, I was saying like I want to use like they when referring to Dragona. At this point, I think I will just use he. I will at least try to use he, just because that is like consistently what characters in the text are referring to them as.
When Dragona.
When Dragona comes out and it's like, hey, I want to use she/her pronouns, then I'll be like, all right, Dragona.
Sure.
But like as far and like, I don't know Japanese well enough to like have like a real honest take on this. So it's a lot of like telephone games. So.
Yes.
Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. Tell me what I should fucking do.
But yeah, they get the menacing word of chicken burrito, and then we cut back to Paco saying like enemy stand user around here, which in hindsight is very funny. Which is like this Paco right here, because it's not. The Paco.
This is not our Paco. This is imposter Paco.
This is Woo Paco.
This is pseudo Paco.
This is Woo Paco.
Woo Paco. I'm gonna call him Su Paco or pseudo Paco because I like a little Jujutsu Kaisen reference.
And I do like the mom being like, "Are you with that Paco boy? That Paco boy is no good." I love that.
It's very funny. I love that the mom is like, there's rumors that he was in prison. Like, it's very funny to me.
This kleptomaniac was possibly in prison at one point. I'm shocked.
Do we know? I can't remember. Did he say if he was in prison?
I don't think he said it. I think just the rumor.
Okay. Yeah. I know he's a bit older. I think he's like 21.
Is he or 19, 21?
I thought he was a bit older than Jodio.
He definitely is.
Jodio's like what, 11, 12?
Jodio's a teenager. Like
Jodio, I think he's 16, right?
Something like that. 15, 16.
And I think Paco maybe 15. Out of high school.
Yes, and yeah. So it's like, oh yeah, there's some. It's very awesome. Which is funny because of JoJo. Like, oh, okay, he knows this right away because it's just JoJo stuff. Like, oh, this is a mafia sign. Like, trying to prove a message. Like,
so what you're referring to is the from last chapter because I had forgotten. I had to like look back. So
yes, the cats.
Yeah, so they were delivered a bag full of the viscera.
They're
of
fast food.
The cats. Yeah, that was the fast food that Paco had picked up, the chicken burrito. And then this is them having a discussion about. Oh, this person like has been watching us this whole time. They knew about the cats, and they also just like
they watched The Godfather.
They've watched The Godfather. They eviscerated these cats and are taunting us
and left it next to us. Yeah, and it just like very much because it's just JoJo. They're gonna explain this is what the message was, what it is, but it's actually very funny in hindsight where Pseudo Paco. Like, it's just like this building of his own game. I think I think it was Aeon for like an edit of like, and he has a huge dick, and he's like really good looking. This guy.
That is really funny. Yeah, I didn't quite.
He could have done that, but like, yeah, it's very funny that he just putting up there. But yeah, Jodio kind of goes off. They say, "Oh, we should come for the rock. We give up the rock. He's not there for the diamond." we can just fuck off. And Jodio's like, basically goes on his monologue of I refuse of like for his senpai for Rohan senpai, and basically saying like, yeah, he trusts us for us. He wants this. There was a map next to it. There's obviously location, like all the stuff essentially, everything that we've seen.
Yeah.
Saying like he's gonna come for us anyway. So like
it also kind of this is like a convenient way to remove Rohan from the story because like clearly Rohan's not the one that like was excavating this rock. Like he was just studying it. So we don't need to see Rohan show up again. He was just like it's the second person to have this rock.
It's that part 5 cameo you got of like Koichi showing up.
Yeah.
He showed up for like one arc and then
it's
disappeared.
a cute little thing to make you fuck your brain over.
Yeah, he called Jotaro saying like he's a good guy, I guess. You know, I trust us not being there because I'd be broken against like every stand we probably would fight.
Do we know? Yeah, I guess we do know for sure that this takes place in that. Okay, whatever. I don't want to pine over that stuff. But Jodio does have kind of a cool little moment where he's.
So yeah, but also that now
he like takes a stand.
That I guess the lava rock origin map is also kind of important in a way as well. Like I think that's a location that we probably saw in like the first chapter or two. We saw like the volcanoes going off.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it could be that area.
So and he just happened to see it. So like this is another thing that Rohan had that our characters don't have. So presumably that this bad guy they're about to fight, he maybe also he stole that information from Rohan.
There's another thing like Rohan could probably read the memory for the map or the in what was it part 6 that's Poochie because like Jotaro's memory has the journal in his brain.
Yeah. The whole thing.
Yeah.
Jojo photographic memory.
I mean, I could believe a JoJo character having every character.
If any character were to, it would be Jotaro. Let's be real.
Yeah. And so yeah.
So
I do love the way Jodio is drawn throughout this as well. Like his serious face.
Yeah, so basically the pseudo Paco is kind of saying, hey, we should just because we know this is not really Paco. He's like, let's just fucking give this guy
the rock.
We'll take the diamond. It'll be fine. So it's funny. He's like trying to like avoid a fight here. He's basically saying like
we can get out easy. We know he's here for the rock, obviously now, not the.
But
diamond.
I'm talking about like the bad guy himself is using Paco, using his disguise as Paco to be like, all right, let's not have a fight. Let's just have Jodio peace out. All he wants is the rock. But then I love Jodio has this little moment and he's like, we have to like stand for. We have to make up our mind here. You need to make a clear choice. I'm sure this will be tie back into his whole mechanism.
And it's like this person was watching Rohan the entire time, and we can't let somebody like that. He's gonna go off, maybe attack Rohan afterwards. You can't have anybody who knows about this stuff. Like they're gonna cut up loose ends. Like obviously.
And one thing too that he says that sets Paco off, or pseudo Paco rather, is I also like how this page is framed. We see a little plane going over, and then it cuts back, or Jodio references that. Oh, like I promised Rohan that if I didn't make my flight, I would smash this lava rock.
I guess he can get through TSA no problem with a rock.
It probably wouldn't be too hard in Hawaii. So I actually when I flew back from Japan, I flew through Hawaii. And
your flight was different than mine.
Yeah, my flight got fucked, Sam. I'll talk to you about that later. But well, I didn't fly to Hawaii, but on the way back there was a volcano that canceled one of my flights. So I had to fly from Japan to Hawaii and then Hawaii to America. And in Hawaii, there was actually like pretty lax, like it wasn't super lax, but it was like a little more lax security. Mm-hmm. But also I was coming from another country. So if you're already in Hawaii and you're flying to another island, you're not going to have like insane TSA security. So it wouldn't be completely weird for them to, because it's just like a local flight, little pond hopper, if you will.
Yeah. But, so also, Jodio basically said if we give him the lava rock, the diamond's going to go too, because I'm pretty sure that's also how the lava rock works.
Yeah, Jodio is just smart enough to realize that this is a stupid plan, regardless. Like,
yeah, like, it is the Mafia, that you're not going to leave any witnesses, obviously. That's how the Mafia works. I read part 5.
In hindsight, I actually really like this chapter, like the little way that Jodio kind of faces off with the pseudo Paco here. Like it's a really good like Jodio moment of him just kind of being like clever and like standing up for not just taking the easy way out kind of thing. Like he's actually like running through the processes of like we're doing this because this and like blah blah blah. He's a very logical sociopath character. My favorite little sociopath.
Yeah, and I do love him just pulling out the Rohan Kishibe art as well, the drawn, and then it's so funny. He pulls out the drawing, and then like this is like the interrogation.
Yeah,
I guess the pat down.
yeah, that's cuts over. Yeah,
It's so funny, just like all the shit they have. It's just, oh yeah, this hand drawn Rohan Kishibe original.
which I do love. This is great. Like once again, I really like Usagi, and Usagi and Dragona are a very good pairing here.
Yes.
Like they are very funny. Like because he's such an asshole, and like Dragona is like very chill. But so yeah, what's his name? I just said it. Usagi like
Yes.
empties because they are being accused of stealing this like $100,000 watch. So he's like, you know what? Check out everything. He's like, you can look at everything I've got.
I have all this random bull crap, a original drawing, and some Chardonnay, and some wine.
Yeah, I love that. It's just very funny. And so we know that Dragona actually has the rock
Also, just Dragona's
behind
like, oh
his
yeah,
emblem.
Dragona's like, oh yeah, that wallet and diamond are mine. The guy didn't even bat like an eye at like the diamond, just having a straight up diamond though. Even though I'm pretty sure that he glanced at the diamond, but still, it's just really weird just to have a full on real diamond on a person.
It's a very suspicious thing to just carry around.
It's not like, oh, I see you have a diamond on you. You must be comedically rich from like a cartoon where you're like, oh yes, I have a giant ring with a giant sized diamond on it. Like
just carry these in case
a
I need
loose
to pay
diamond.
for gas.
I carry a loose blood diamond probably on me.
So a lot of this kind of encounter is basically
What happened?
them trying to piece together what exactly is happening. This is a great little explanation too of like not exploration, a more exploration of like them trying to figure out what the power of this rock is.
They're like, we got 4 cameras. I played Five Nights at Freddy's. I have to keep the camera on the watch to make sure it doesn't move.
Also, I like that there's a little thing where like the guy's head blocks it from one angle, so they have to check another angle.
Camera 2. Oh no, Freddy moved.
But yeah, so the one thing that they do that was a fatal mistake was they kind of pretend like this is also like a very real thing. Like they use the fact that these are like young kids and to their disadvantage and pretend like they're detaining them. And once they start to like call for the cops, that's when I think Dragona is like, no, you can't do this shit. Like you can't just like detain us. That's kind of illegal. And then that was like a trump card that they were able to pull out that like diffused the situation a bit, which I love that. Because that is like a real thing. Like places like this will take advantage. Like I'm just in general, older people will take advantage of younger people's naivete and not knowing that like, oh, you can't just like fucking detain a person for like no grounds.
Yeah. Weird enough, I've been through like me and my sister have been through an experience like this before. It's a long story. Like they just thought like we were shoplifting. And my sister just literally dumped her bag out there. Like, yeah, go ahead and look through it. And they found nothing. And like they even like they caught a cop there. They had nothing on us. Like they just thought we were fucking shoplifting for no reason because we were looking at a fucking Kmart. Glad they're dead. Of like just looking through their unorganized shelves, and I guess out for some reason thought we were shoplifting.
That's fucked. You should have just left because you can just leave. Like,
but they literally took my sister and then literally just pointed at me like him too. I'm like, what? And we had 2 other people with us too, so they just grabbed 2 people out of us.
They legally cannot do that.
Yeah,
like they use that. They use the threat of like authority to make people think that they need to do that. But if you're accused of shoplifting, you don't have to do jack shit. You can just leave the store. Like unless there is a police officer there, like people really need to learn their rights.
Yeah, literally nothing on us. They literally dumped our bag.
I mean, in that case, it was advantageous for you because you weren't actually shoplifting.
Yeah,
but like. Still, it's like a waste of your fucking time.
Fuck Kmart and glad they're dead.
Yeah, that's like infuriating. Yeah, So pro tip, JoKaKakers out there, if you are being accused of shoplifting, just fucking leave. I am not a lawyer.
As somebody that also worked in retail, like in America now, they don't tackle you anymore if you're 100%.
They can't.
I've been there when they could. It was fun when they did that because.
They would get fucking in trouble for
now they can, yeah. Back then, but funny story. I had 2 funny shoplifting stories when I worked in a retail. When I was a retail boy, one person got tackled outside walking out the exit, and that's when all their DVDs of Game of Thrones or whatever got thrown to the ground, and they had under their jacket was a vest, and it was like slots to fill in like DVDs and movies of. It was like a weird like tech they had in there. And the other time, was like, a guy had a backpack full of it. I had it while they had the guy holding him down. I had to be the one to call 911. And 911's the most unhelpful thing to be like, oh yeah, we'll send somebody over there.
So from the perspective of the store, stores are built to account for losses like this.
Yeah.
So it's just wasting a cop's time taking them out from like a potential like actual emergency.
Well, and they're like, oh, how much? I'm like, well, on the ground right now, it's like $100, but they have a backpack. So it's definitely over $100 of seasons. You know how much? I know how expensive DVDs, seasons of like Game of Thrones and like
probably like $60.
Yeah,
maybe or something.
So like obviously, I have hundreds of dollars of stolen goods that this guy's like obviously wiggling around that the guys can't like, you know.
I still don't think that was like legal. I don't think that was strictly legal for them to like tackle.
Well, that was when it was, but like
I don't know if it was though.
But I was like literally like leaving for the day when I had to do so. I had to stay like extra like 15, 30 minutes, and like, oh yeah, can you stay in the office with the guy? I'm like, ugh,
absolutely not.
I really don't. You guys better pay me extra for this shit. And so yeah, fun times. Security is fucking annoying and tedious and not fun.
Yeah, no. If I was that guy and I got tackled, I would fucking sue Kmart so fucking hard.
Oh yeah, that wasn't Kmart where that happened.
Or whatever.
Kmart.
Yeah,
my experience was at Kmart, and I'm glad they're dead. And I hope they burn in hell.
But still, like I would sue so fucking hard. I would be like, oh yeah, I fell and got a concussion.
But
all right, sorry. I was just like, really mad about that.
I have an arsenal of retail stories that can pop up on random occasions. So.
All right, we have to get back. I'm sorry.
So, but no, yeah. So we had the camera incidents. We see the guy is no chin. He has like multiple chins.
I love these are very good like JoJo background.
Very
characters.
Damo chin picture of him with like the Damo stash as well.
I love this guy. He's great. But so when they actually review the footage, they see it looks like Dragon is like not pocketing.
My favorite thing is just like Dragon like I kind of want to see that for myself.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love this chapter so much because it's so funny.
Like, we can walk out, but you kind of want to see.
Yeah,
what's
it's like
happening.
an experiment.
And he pulls out the tablet and said, I forget what I mentioned. I remember I made a point out where like they only do one thing with like the one watch or whatever. Like it's the only one they touched or something.
No, I think it was the most. This is me just talking out of my ass. I thought it was the most expensive one.
I remember I made some connection to whoever that one watch the one they examined is. I think the first one they were shown and probably the most expensive they were told about.
You know, I can easily check this.
We could, but it's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been actually a very long time.
And like I said, the watch first angle was blocked, and then we see the second angle, which is like it goes up Dragona's like wrist like bracelet.
Yeah, he has like a bangle on his arm,
and we see Smooth Operator also is like the one grabbing it. Like you can kind of see that.
Which I love this. This is like my favorite development with this is like, and it's so one thing that's cool. It doesn't necessarily just make this rock like a MacGuffin. It seems to just imply that like rocks from that area have this like power over stands.
Yes, it's very much like what's it called in part 5?
With the
Silver Chariot Requiem could also just like if you make your stand attack yourself.
Yeah, all the stands were attacking themselves. Like
if you go close
or we're attacking the users rather.
Yes.
Because it's like it's control. It's like exhibiting control over your stand, which is so cool.
Yes, and so yeah, Dragona's like emblem is like a void dimension, like Ramona Flowers' purse.
It really fucking is.
Gonna pull a hammer out of it eventually. But yeah, so that's what happens, and that's kind of similar. Like, oh, this is what happened with like the diamond ending up in the cup. It was like, you know, smooth operator just doing it all, I guess. Cause I guess Usagi's can't work on its own because he needs somebody else to make it activate.
Yeah, it seems like Usagi's relying on another person.
So I guess like his can't work on its own like Dragona's did, right? I would think.
That's interesting. I mean, that's really interesting because like that could be a reason why we're taught that his stand is like that.
This is like gonna be like the ultimate counter to this thing where we had the ideas in part 8, like, oh man, who's gonna be able to counter one to review with their stand?
It's
like
literally just Psyduck. Like
yeah,
it's just Psyduck. Like just won't do fucking shit.
But yeah. So and then they basically like counter like, oh, you had it on your shoe the entire time, sir. And that's how they get out of it.
It's so fucking funny. I love how the tone immediately shifts to like
comedy.
Yeah, like they are like bending over backwards to suck their dicks.
I had the classic like Three Stooges sound effect. It goes whoop, 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 like that Looney Tunes like just weird cartoon like sound effect. It just skinning around. No one finds it like incredibly weird.
So that's the weird thing too. So let's say that it caused Smooth Operator to act by itself
Yes.
and pull the thing in. But, like, that's out of Smooth Operator's range, presumably. Like, it must still be, like, maybe not. Actually, I guess we don't know Smooth Operator's range. Do we know?
No, because it only, like, works off, like, Dragonas have put it on people's face at point-blank range, and we've seen... Dragona...
It goes, like, across the room,
Dragona also
though. Placed
them, like, on the license plate, and it got to move, but that wasn't, like, directly, like, on top of it. So it had a little bit of a range, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the closer you are, the farther it can pull, but then there's a hive mind of them, like a harvest kind of a bunch of them.
We've only seen 4.
Yes.
At any given time. We've never seen more than 4.
And the watch, you can just drag a watch away.
But it's also, it's like across the room. That would imply that Dragona's got like a pretty, like, I assume that it was like a very close range.
Until we get the official Smooth Operator, like,
Made
monologue about it. Like,
Yeah.
we haven't really got that many monologue, other than Usagi's, I think, where we haven't got, like, what the stand can do 101, like, in a fight like that. We got, like, very little things for everybody else. Like, the hustle's, like, it's pretty straightforward, but the hustle can literally do whatever it needs to be, like, be a freaking zip line.
All right, so I looked over this chapter a few times. We only see Dragona try the trick with 2 of the watches, and it's not the watch that is stolen.
Yeah, is it the one watch they don't touch? I think it was.
There's 2 that they don't touch, and then one of them is the one that gets stolen. The only time they reference a price is there's one watch that has like these really like round bands, or really like this like rings are the band. That one is $45,000, and then there's another one that's $80,000. So presumably the one that was stolen was the most expensive one.
That's what I figured.
But
Okay.
it's the one thing that's kind of weird about the power of this is that, and maybe I guess if it's just controlling stands, it would explain it.
They say it's $100,000 watch at the end.
Yeah.
When they leave.
In
So
this
it is the
chapter.
one.
So I don't know if it's like, are we supposed to always assume that stands are controlling it? Like, if a human were to do the same trick, would it work? Like, that's my question. Like, if a human that didn't, like if a person that didn't have a
non-stand
ability,
user.
Yeah. That's, I guess, the kind of question. So
I don't know, or maybe it's like an arrow thing, or like the stand potential in you, it's like a piece of the wall's eye, where like it unlocks your stand in you as well, and just makes it activate.
that'd be interesting. Kind of like a what's her name? Jotoro's mom. How she kind of had
Holly.
like a pseudo stand.
If you don't have that fighter instinct in you, you're just gonna start dying.
You start dying. Damn, I wish we saw that at least one other time in the whole series.
Oh, anime only, man, anime only.
Oh, is that really anime only?
I'm pretty sure anime only is like the checkup on her. I think. Is
Oh,
like
the checkup. Okay, I was gonna say the getting killed by her stand thing is
No. Kill by. That'd be cool to see it, because then it'd be like a weird wall's eyes equivalent.
You'd
offshoot.
You'd think that could be like a thing that was done, but
It bites people on their ankles and gives them a stand.
Sam, don't think about the bites.
He was cooking this long.
One thing I do want to say is, and I just feel like I have to say it for like posterity reasons, they do have kind of the guys start to creep on Dragona moment where they both grab him, and Dragona goes "Kia," which is like the sound that like anime girls make when they get like molested. So I just had to point that out. It just feels like
it is. I hate that.
It's like a tropey thing. Like the whole thing about like Dragona being detained and then it being treated as like asexual overpowering is a little like weird.
So many female characters in JoJo just has to happen too. They have to get groped at one point.
But Dragona's not.
I know.
Female, so
is this like a Rocky thinking like this is how I get away? This is how I get away with it? Kind of thing.
I wish, and I know this is not how JoJo works, but I wish that we got any insight as to how people viewed Dragona. Like, I was hoping that one of these like
the
watch
first
guys
instance
would say something.
The first instant was the cop that groped Dragona first, and then
was
whoa,
like, oh, you got a
like that's my
penis.
fetish, and that was literally all we got.
But I feel like that was. I would like to see more, like, because characters should be treating, if they see, like, the cop is an indication, characters should be viewing Dragona as a woman. Like, immediately, like, Dragona passes, like, incredibly well. So, I don't know. I'd have to reread these chapters. I don't know if we ever get, like, any sort of indication about that. But
no, it's like...
It doesn't really matter, but it's just one of those things that I think it could have, like, a thing later. You know what I mean?
But I do love the scene ending. Like, that was really fun, though. We should cherish that memory as adventure.
This is why Usagi's so good. It's very fucking funny. This is like a really scary situation, and he's just like, oh yeah.
I think cherish the memory. Don't let it go. And I kind of really love that. And then just a really fat man entering with 2 babes behind him.
Yeah, okay. I kept thinking, like, is he gonna be?
I
Like,
thought so too.
is he gonna? Not even like if he's gonna be a stand user. Is he gonna have like a joke? Because like this is like a very nice little guy. I love this design.
He's the guy from Lilo and Stitch with the ice cream, the fat guy, but he has hair this time, and
he has long hair, and he's got a nice Hawaiian shirt, and he's with two babes.
Two Hawaiian babes, probably. So yeah, then we cut back to Jodio and Pseudo Paco. I'm glad we were Jujutsu Kaisen on our brain for this as well, because it's been on my brain.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then mysteriously Paco returns,
saying almost the same exact thing, right? Doesn't he say like
pretty much? It's I don't know, this pose of Paco, like with like the drink, like is it a gremlin look to him, and I love it. It cracks me up.
Ever since I saw the first illustration of Paco, just the way that Araki like drew his torso and his arms, it's so fucking funny.
Because people have been posting like the volume notes or whatever, and like the first one's like, Paco's my favorite character to draw. I hope you like him. I'm like, he loved him so much he wanted to draw him twice in multiple fun ways and interesting stuff that happened to him.
But I think it's interesting. So this is kind of a weird plan. If we think about the plan of this Pseudo Paco, he literally just hoped that he could convince Jodio in like the time that it took for Paco to get back from ordering food.
Also, not to notice Paco like at whatever fast food.
Yes, you can see every fucking store here. But then, and immediately, the second that Jodio sees Paco, he doesn't even try and pull the like, huh, I'm the real Paco. He immediately just starts to deconstruct his stand around him or whatever.
But don't worry, Paco got some fried up abalones that were raised in the deep sea.
Very well. I don't know. Have you read that The Spoke Rohan where him and
yes,
Tonio...
we did read that one.
Okay, because that's what they want.
I think we did an episode for
that. Interesting. That they're going for abalones.
Okay,
in that episode,
the rare ones.
Yeah, the rare ones that are protected.
That almost killed him.
Yeah. There's a really cool shot of a really cool two-page spread of Paco, Pseudo Paco's face exploding.
It was really funny. Like, man, I really wanted to eat some of them chickens. They were raised up in the high mountains on Hawaii. And he sounds like an advertised commercial. Like,
it is that. I mean, this is just like such an Araki thing.
Like, I know.
It's just like he heard like an anecdote about like, oh yeah, like in Hawaii they can only grow chickens in the mountains.
I love Hawaii. Period.
Literally.
Abalone.
I actually really want to go to Hawaii now. I was only there for a few hours for my layover, but
yeah, you had the world tour. I had Canada, and that was like my go to the gift shop, find maple and a box of salmon that you can just buy. Yeah, that's what we said. But yeah, so this man breaks away very woo-like.
Yeah, woo-esque, if you will.
Woo-esque. He crumbles away, and we have like a new face appear, or like.
It looks pretty close to Paco's face, not gonna lie.
It crumbles away.
It doesn't have the eye. The eye.
We see the mouth. That's it. And the hair. You don't really notice like the hair moving away, but yeah, he's like, you really should just give me the lava rock. You didn't. You're gonna die now. And here's a knife, and I'm shooting. He does shoot. Like he's trying to stab him, but it looks like it's shooting stuff at him though. But it's just a stab.
Yeah, it does kind of look like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was confused at first. Then you see the knife, and I'm like, this looks very weird. But these are very much like a stiletto knife, like a like oh my god, there's someone in part 3 that it's part 5. The shrinking guy had a little stiletto.
Oh,
knife.
Did he have a stiletto? I don't remember that.
That's how he shrunk you. I think he had to like stab you.
Oh yeah,
little feet.
Stilettos are really cool.
Yeah.
I watched a whole video about stiletto knives. They're designed for assassination. And they don't have a sharp blade on the side, so you can easily conceal them by like tying it to your legs, so you don't have to worry about cutting yourself.
So yeah, and then Jodio gets his like neck slit a little bit, slightly cut, and so yeah, that's how it ends. We have our mysterious owner in quotation marks.
Yeah, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by owner?
Just the owner, the lava rock owner, I guess.
Oh, okay, so he's the owner of the rock. Okay.
Unless that doesn't mean like he is like a rock human. Do you think he's a rock human? I'm on that Dr. Wu hopium because I went back and looked at the Dr. Wu dying chapter, and Jodio or Josuke says, "Oh, that concrete is semi-permanent, but it should be enough to take care of him for the time being." I'm like, and no one probably made sure to get rid of the body in like the river or something. So Dr. Wu, like, oh yeah, I got fired because they thought I ran away or went missing or something. So now I had to join the mafia or like watch my island in Hawaii or something like that.
I do really love that idea.
It's probably not. But
I'm not gonna put like any faith in it, but I would. I mean, I'm a famous Doctor Wu apologist.
We both love Dr. Wu.
Yeah, people hate Doctor Wu. We were still like in like denial that like Part 8 was good at that part. So I think that's why we like Doctor Wu.
Dr. Wu never fails except for that one time.
Also, I hate to just say this because like I know we'll get a corrector comment, but Little Feet's his knife isn't.
It's finger. Okay.
Yeah, it's a finger, and it's not quite a stiletto. It's like a curved one.
Okay.
So, I just know that someone angry comment will happen if I didn't say that.
So another thing, since like a lot of his body broke off, and like maybe like the reason why he's not gonna, I'm gonna fly into you or whatever, like I only have a small part of me left that I had to use to like take over somebody, like maybe.
He's also in a very bad situation for it because in the original he was in like a small like room with no wind.
Now he's in
if
the
you were to do
open-
it now, it would be really difficult for him to.
I have the small hope that it is Dr. Wu.
I would love it to be Dr. Wu, and I think I really like hope it's a rock human. I think that would be really sick.
I think it'd be, and maybe like, we're gonna like an offshoot, or off species, like a subspecies of rock humans that are like the lava rock humans or something like that.
That would be pretty cool.
The
that
Hawaiian
sounds like
variant,
out of like an old
the Alolan
like,
variant.
Book.
Some would say
the what?
The Alolan variant.
The Alolan variant, yes.
That'd be really cool, but and I'm guessing it's so he could. I guess he raised cats, but I'm guessing his power is to just shapeshift or whatever, or have the layer of rock that's like. I don't think if
he does also have Paco's exact clothing too, and that doesn't come off. So presumably that he either can create the clothing or he just found a matching jumpsuit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. He is using CQC, which is interesting as well.
I would love it to be Dr. Wu, but
he's not formerly Dr. Wu. He's a mafia lieutenant. He's now Lieutenant Wu.
Dr. Liu.
Dr. Liu.
He lost his doctorate.
Yeah,
he got fired. He got his medical license revoked.
He got swept away, and he thought he like either abandoned his work post or went missing, and like he's a missing persons.
That really is like an after credits scene. You've seen like a fucking like Marvel movie of like the little like Sandman guy.
I mean, him and Blue Hawaii are still alive, but I don't know. But then again, like he wouldn't be unless he is the only rock human that is like a lava rock person. We'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm interested.
It'd be fun.
This was a fun chapter. It was a good little cliffhanger.
To have that be the first Part 8 real like connection.
Yeah,
and that would be really fun. Other than just to be like, oh yeah, Joseph. Like, oh, this is like, oh, okay, here's the character coming back, and it's like a main villain. He got rid of his doctorate to raise some cats that he didn't care about that died because they failed him. He kills stuff that fails, Jim, and Dr. Wu never fails.
Dr. Wu does never fail. It's true,
except for that one time.
Yeah, do you think he's
we got
him?
That one time he got turned into a tape ball and thrown out the window, then came back and then got cemented by soft and wet.
I love that. I never fail. Fails twice in one day.
Fucking loser.
But yeah, so that's the chapter. I don't have anything else to say really. Yeah. It's a good one. I'm excited JoJo's back. It feels really weird when there's a hiatus month. It feels like JoJo like vanishes.
I know, but this chapter kind of like vitalized a lot of hype because there was like no hype in the past couple of chapters. I feel, but this one kind of like got people. Okay, yeah, where is it, JoJo? And it was nice to see.
Yeah, I love it.
That's the only prediction I can is like the owner, and I'm like, I really want it to be Dr. Wu so bad.
It would be fun. It would be a fun little carryover, but it probably won't be. Rocky rarely ever brings over minor antagonists. Like I can think of like, let's see, he did it in Part 2. He brought back Dyer, and Dyer wasn't even an antagonist.
Yes,
he was like a friend, but he became a minor antagonist.
I mean, Whole Horses technically had his own spin-off.
I know, but that doesn't count.
I know. Part 8 in his own part did that with Ojiro.
Well, yeah, but like he was still inside the.
But
same
no one
part.
expected him to come back. He thought he was the early villain of the week that would just come back for nothing.
I honestly can't think of any other example where like an actual character from like a minor villain from a former part
got out alive and came back later.
Yeah, and comes back into the next part as a former villain. I don't think that's ever happened before, so I guess that would be a first.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I would love that. It would be
fun. I would like that.
I'm trying to think, yeah, no one really at the Dire. It's only one really. Okay, I mean it'd be a fun new thing to do, and going back and looking at that he's not 100% dead. They kind of just left him in pieces that he got swept away somewhere into the trash, and took a while to reassemble. Took years to reassemble. Slowly.
A couple of years, like 10 years. Presumably like 10 years.
I would love it because him and like Blue Hawaii, I guess, and there's one Rocky.
But do we want to see Blue Hawaii again?
We thought that Blue Hawaii was the one way to get to Toru and Wonder Review, and that didn't happen.
That one little mistranslation was so funny.
It cost so much.
All right. Anything else, or do you want to switch over to Root Beer Talk, aka we're just gonna talk about the JoJo bar?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess before we do that, like it's funny that Toru is in All Star.
Oh, yeah.
He is the Part 8 representative in the season pass. Not
Leaked.
Toru.
So this was leaked.
Yeah, this was leaked by Nintendo eShop in Japan. And I mentioned this on X or Twitter, where like it looks real and fake simultaneously.
It's the fucking shape of his hair. It looks like a fucking. That's why it looks fake to me.
And
it looks like someone threw together a quick like model. Not saying it looks bad, but the hair itself.
If you see the pictures that like all the like the JoJo wiki on there all put out like the I guess the shop pictures they would have like on Steam equivalent.
Yeah.
And it looks like Toru looks fake and Wonder Review looks real.
Also, I don't know if you read, but Toru is not playable.
Yeah, he's cutscene only.
Yeah, you only play his Wonder View.
Well, I do love that.
It's just really weird.
And yeah, he is in full suit, not like the arm blade one you saw in that one.
Yeah, he's dressed like Akifu.
Which and they did do his Shueisha colors, which people do not like. And for what I've read, the DLC characters don't have alternate color schemes. I read that
I will never not be mad at this fucking game.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that the DLCs don't have color scheme variants, which
big if true, also bad if true.
Because I think the DLC was... Oh my god, you can remember the DLCs at all?
Honestly, I haven't really been paying attention. I don't give a shit about the PS3 game.
We have Abakio was one of them.
Also, I already thought he was in the game.
Nope, he was not in the game.
Was Mariah one?
I'm going to look up the season pass.
I don't care.
But, yeah, he has the color scheme from Shueisha. People don't like it.
It just feels like fuck you that didn't they add another Dio? They added one of the Dios, I think.
Was it Diego?
I think it was Diego with a world.
No, that was in the game already.
I don't think it was in All-Star Battle. I think it was in. It wasn't
Eyes of Heaven.
Eyes of Heaven.
So it was the DLC pass. Was the first one was Risotto, then it was a free character.
Risotto, actually, that is a good addition. Like that's a good one.
We had Risotto. We had Kaicho, which is
Bad Company.
Bad Company, Worst Company. Yes. We got Weather. We got Poochie. We had Poochie that was free with the end game Poochie with Made in Heaven and everything. We had Yuya from Part 4, Highway Star.
Okay. That's not bad, I guess. That's like a deep cut.
Stroheim was one of them.
Okay.
I'm trying to... I guess it was Diego with the world.
Yeah, because he wasn't in the game, which that's so fucking lame to me. Like, I don't know. I'm mad that it's like a PS3 game. Still, I'll never not be mad that it's just a PS3 game. That they like upscaled or whatever. I know I'm sure they put time and effort into it, but I don't know. It's really frustrating, the whole situation, and then like to just do this, but season pass bullshit.
Yeah, then we have
like characters that like I don't give a shit about, like characters that were in Eyes of Heaven. Like it just feels like also that are like reskin characters. Like I understand like it's a different moveset, but like I don't know. So much about this makes me mad. The Wonder View thing is very funny, actually.
It is very funny. It's like it's so funny that Toru's not in there at all.
Hysterical.
Even though other stands that like barely you never see the long range ones, they just have them together.
I mean, most of the Poochie stuff, like the long endgame Poochie, like Jolene's just like fighting most of the stands herself.
Like literally in the Capcom fighting game for the Part 3 game, they made Midler like a character design for a character that only was remote and never fought with her stand. Like it's actually, but they don't want to put Toru to fight alongside of him, which is very funny. Because I guess it doesn't make sense. It'd be really funny. Like,
it'd be fine. Like it's a fucking fighting game. Who cares?
I know it's very.
Give him a punch animation.
I want to punch Toru. I
want to punch Toru.
This is why they put like characters people hate as DLC in Mortal Kombat game, because they want to see every super performed on Toru. Like
I just want to see his moveset. I want to see what Wonder View's moveset is.
I want to see that, and I want to see like what the Joseph like dialogue thing. Like, oh, your next line is. I want to see the slow mo punch on him.
Yeah.
I need to see every special on Wonder Review.
That's kind of like a problem, and not to relitigate Part 8, but like that's kind of a problem with Wonder Review and Toru is like it doesn't have the same connection that like Funny does with his stand or Dio with his stand. Like it feels like Toru is like an afterthought.
Wonder Review is the main event, not Toru.
Yeah, and it's weird because like Wonder Review doesn't really feel like it has a lot of personality for being a stand that is like the most power. It just feels like kind of like this unrelenting killing machine.
Yeah.
So it's like you get the worst of both worlds. You don't have a fun personality stand like an AC/DC, and you don't have a fun character personality like an AC/DC.
You mean D4C?
No, I meant AC/DC, but
like you mean the character from Part 2?
No, sorry. I'm thinking of Red Hot Chili Pepper.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know why I was mixing those two up. Probably 4.
Yeah, you're confused. I'm like, AC/DC.
Red Hot Chili Pepper. I'm thinking syllables. All right.
Should have been Jobin.
Should have been Jobin. Also, like I saw someone saying like Joshu is not in the game. There's already like a model for Joshu.
And from Eyes of Heaven.
Yeah. Like why are we adding like Diego again and not adding like a new character? It's like the Goku thing from the Dragon Ball fighting game.
They put weather because people play like Weather Reports with a DLC, and he was in Eyes of Heaven because he had a model in there.
That makes sense. Like also the anime cross promotion, but
it's still crazy. Like the Part 8 like phobia they have
so
there.
Fucking bitter. I'm just like a bitter joke.
You put Yashiho, you could put Joshu in there from the past. You could put like the fact that they didn't get one new character when the game re-released, when every part got a new character to represent each one.
It's weird. It feels like it's on autopilot.
Also, the bullshit of like, oh, we don't want to put that Poochie in there because that would be a spoiler for the Part 6 anime, as we have everything from Part 7.
Yeah, I just hate this idea of like franchises going on like autopilot, where it's like, especially now that the JoJo anime is kind of done. I know like Steel Ball Run hasn't been done yet, but
people are on that hopium.
It really seems like David Production does not want to handle that. Because it would be a completely different like project, like probably very CG heavy.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. It feels like JoJo right now is literally just being held up by like the fucking manga, and like this, they're in like a holding pattern with the game. Like, all right, let's just do like DLC for like a PS3 game.
And as we'll get into, because I'm going to talk about my Japan stuff about like trying to get the JoJo merch that I've seen is like. So
also, we didn't talk. Sam and I both played the JoJo fucking battle royale game.
Okay, let's cut into our. Okay, so me and Jim went to Japan.
Root beer talk.
We
went to Japan different times. But
yes,
we both went to Japan.
Basically a week apart.
Yeah.
And unless you want to listen to like a whole JoJo or a whole Japan podcast, we would do that if there's interest in there. Like, let us know in the comments. But we're gonna talk about the JoJo stuff that we did in this.
And JoJo Battle Royale.
Game is bad. It's nothing.
So funny.
It had the worst controller I've ever played in an arcade game.
It's very funny.
It's a split in half Xbox 360 controller that you can't move around, that you hold like you're piloting a mech.
Yeah.
And it just feels bad. It's not fun.
There's like 4 buttons. It's very It's like, imagine if Fortnite was like
people.
Fortnite was like made for babies.
I walked up to every menacing aura and just punched people and they died.
Yeah, it was very popular though.
Not when I played.
When I was there, we went there at like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. on like a weekday. So there was tons of like middle school kids playing like the JoJo game. And also, I have to say, one of the most aggressively monetized games I've ever seen. So just like
I saw there were a bunch of locked characters.
Give you like an idea of like the pay structure in this game. So this is an arcade only game. You cannot go home and play this game and like put money into it. So you have to spend like, I think 500 yen. So like about like $3 American. You have to spend that much money to like even play, and you get like basically like a play out of it. You don't even get like 3 plays. You get like a play because like it turns your yen into a JoJo currency. That
I saw that, the PP, I think.
Yeah, it's called PP, and this PP is not equal to yen. And like, so okay, you say you put 500 yen in there, it turns it into like 400 PP. To play one game, it's like 350 PP. Okay. That's just to play the game. So then you always have a leftover, and then there's a fucking loot box shop right next to it. So you're playing
get other colors.
Yeah, but I might get a character, Sam.
So no, it's just okay. First off, it does not feel good to play.
It does not feel good to play.
It took an hour to load into a game.
Because weirdly, like no one is playing, but like all the kids are on.
The load was slow motion, like. There's some for cheaper or for that amount of money or cheaper. I played two other arcade games that were like way better, which is the one with the Gundam, this Gundam mech game where you pilot a mech around.
I played that.
It's like that's a lot cooler and way more bang for your buck for that experience. And then I played this goes in the gacha one. I played this Kamen Rider like gacha legend or something like that. But when you put 100 yen in there, which is like $1, it gives you a free card. And you can still play a full team with that card, and it's really cool. You can collect. I have a collectible merchandise now, also, which is cool to have. And I have some more shiny.
Yeah, that's
and I got like
bad.
Big numbers go up, like cinematics are happening. The OP is playing while my character's
your
doing
dopamine receptors are being completely
my character is
caked.
transforming. Yeah, I mean it's hitting all the sensors. Like it's like getting more from it than I would have played pachinko, I guess, or I see more from pachinko, but not playing like an awkward. I'm interacting with the game better than holding an awkward ass like controller that you would find in like the back lot of a GameStop.
It's
like
just
it
was
controller.
not fun. So I played as Bruno, I think, and
I played as
our other friend, who we'll call Nick.
Yes.
He played as Whole Horse, and the gun sound effect for Whole Horse was so deafening. It was fucking hilarious. It was like.
I think I was stuck in a tutorial. I think I was only able to play as like Jotaro, but it was still just like not fun to play.
It was bad. I got into a few matches and like it was just really shitty.
Yeah.
It's like if they made this a mobile game, or like if they turned it into like an actual console
free to play game.
Yeah, I think it would and they flesh it out a bit. I think it wouldn't be that bad. But the fact that it's arcade only, it's like fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's like they use that as an excuse to keep the mechanics really shallow.
Yeah.
But then I looked behind me while I was playing, and there was a kid who like did Gold Experience Requiem somehow, and it like changed the entire map into like space.
I had one free use.
Hilarious.
I had one free use of Star Platinum in the world, so I guess it's like a one-time use ability thing.
I don't know. I think it's on a long cooldown because you have like your left trigger.
Yeah.
Or your left bumper attack is like your big one.
It just feels really awkward to play.
Like they could easily just make this an actual like console game if they wanted to, and I'm sure they'd make money, right?
Yeah,
it's just aggressively monetized.
Called, like, JoJo the animation, like it's called JoJo the animation, and then the battle royale or whatever, like last stand user or something like that.
It's just really fucking weird. Like the sound effects are on the screen when people walk by, so
which is
actually kind of an interesting mechanic.
The footsteps is like the menacing like aura essentially.
Yeah, it's very interesting to use that as a mechanic, especially if you're at an arcade and the sound isn't always playing on your machine. But
it was not good.
It was not good.
But I guess before we talk about, I guess like the JoJo bar.
So the Dio bar. Yeah.
I want to talk. I found a pop up before that in the same. This is one like kind of a mall, but they had like a little figure, the SAS figures essentially, a pop up for that. Had like a really cool like casing of like if Jim wants to put any photos in there, as long as I'm not in the reflection of any of them.
You are.
As long as my head's not in it, it's fine.
I'll probably share some photos of the JoJo bar,
but
I took a lot of the photos.
Yeah, me and you would both do that. And they have like a case of all their SAS figures, and like had a picture
Antonio in the corner.
And then have one of like the coming soon stuff, like the hot pants figure.
Yeah.
But every figure of those is like $80, and it's like
weird how expensive the JoJo figures are. Like across the board, they're just more expensive than like any other like franchise.
I saw one affordable figure, which was Ugly Iggy holding Jotaro's hat for like $30, and I'm like, if I didn't have an Iggy figure already, I probably would have gotten it.
That's so cheap for like a like every time because like is it SAS or whatever the posable ones are?
Yeah, those are the SAS ones.
Every one I would see for like any character, I would look for like obscure characters, and they would all be like $70. Like
I'm saying like
average
before like
it's
I
like
guess
too much.
When I got in the JoJo before like I guess like that price skyrocketed. For that price, you would buy for one figure. I had Trish and Spice Girl for that same price.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
it sucks too. Like I was looking at Part 8 stuff because I was like, oh well, this is
it's
like
only Josuke and Soft and Wet.
Yeah,
so it exists for Part 8. As I said,
it's
sucks.
so weird that JoJo's in this weird holding pattern. Like, why aren't they like aggressively marketing like?
Unless they don't have like the other shonens that have like the affordable figure. Like I guess it's like a deal they have for that brand. I'm guessing even that store, like all the clothing were just like JPEG, all the JPEGs and of Jolene was there, and like the promo pictures of Part 5 and 6 on like slapped onto a hoodie that like this is JoJo. I want a way more fashionable. Like the hoodie I have from what's it called? Break Free is like way cooler JoJo merch than I get like unofficial JoJo merch than the actual JoJo hoodies itself.
Yeah,
I'm like
it really fucking is. That's unfortunate too. Yeah, because like JoJo's at this weird place where, based on the price of the figures, you would assume that okay, maybe they're going for like an older audience than like younger kids. But then at the same time, what you're saying, like you would expect them to also pair that with like a cool fashion line, like how is there not like a cool JoJo fashion line? I know there's been like what do they call that? Like special events. Like actually, I took a picture of like some random mall that I walked by, and they had like a Jolene event somewhere.
Yeah, if you want cool JoJo,
but it's just like a pop up.
Go check out Break Free if you want cool JoJo shit.
Yeah, shout out.
It was like.
I did also. I don't know if I told you, Sam. I went to Denny's. I went to Japanese. Denny's.
Yeah, I heard it's awful.
It wasn't very good. They didn't have a Grand Slam.
I heard. Yeah, these don't have Grand Slam. Like, what's the point of going to Denny's? They don't have a Grand Slam or a Grand Slamwich.
Grand Slamwich. I've never had that.
My goddamn. Oh yeah, and I did find in the jump store I put it on Twitter as well, of the only Part 8 merch that I found, which was a Toru Wonder Review shirt that I don't want to buy. I don't want to wear this fucker.
I don't want to wear Toru.
But like I saw like I guess look at the brand like Bandit. Bandit Presto. I have a picture
of Presto?
it. Yeah, I found so many figures that look good. I have like 2 Kamen Rider figures I got for like essentially $10 for each of them. And that's like a crazy ass deal for like figures as good looking as they are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if JoJo had some of these, it'd be chef's kiss. There's so many characters. Like, how many One Piece figures of like every character, even just from minor, you can get from Wano alone?
How many fucking cheap One Piece
even
figures
though
are?
I couldn't find goddamn my one character I was looking for. But I was looking for.
You're keeping this a secret. Like it's like a reveal.
Where is goddamn goth Perona outfit? Nothing exists. Only found wedding dress one. I don't want a wedding dress figure in my goddamn room.
I think I saw that one too. Yeah, they have like the One Piece figure lines are very fun.
I did find a sick Karakuri figure of him arm in mid mochi.
I love Karakuri.
He's one of my favorite fucking characters.
That's a really really cool.
Whole Cake is great. When we get there in the podcast in fucking years.
So we've done like one recording for that.
But no. So let's talk about the JoJo bar. Unless there's any other minor JoJo stuff you ran into.
Honestly, no. I didn't really see any JoJo stuff. I'm trying to think. No, really. Honestly, it was. I mean, I had a great time in Japan. Just
same.
Preface, but no. So
if you want to do anything JoJo related, the Dio's bar is like the coolest thing.
Where was it again? Did you say Nakano?
Nakano, yeah, like right off of Nakano Broadway, which is like a really cool, huge like. It felt like a mart, we have Amish markets that are like kind of feel like a bunch of shops, a bunch of figures. It's really cool. I found so much merch there, so much.
So I don't want to spoil too much of the experience because we'll
post pictures of the entranceway. I think I had the door open on mine.
Yeah, I had the door closed, so I'm glad you got that. There's a really cool illustration of the Dio from the or like a chalk illustration of Dio when his face is covered.
Yes, Shadow Dio.
Yeah, they it's just really cool. Like, so basically, just to kind of give a rundown, the whole store is lined with it's tiny. It's fucking minuscule. It has
like 3 booths and then a small bar you can sit at.
But the bar is like covered in figures, so there's like hardly any room to put your drink. But so also I have to say the owner and we had the same staff. I think.
Yeah, I had a booth. I only really had the waitress.
The waitress, yeah. So they're
decked out in the Part 6 prison outfit.
Oh yeah. So when we were there, I was there for a few hours. So I tried a ton of drinks and we stayed like kind of like around closing. So we actually spoke with the owner, Satoshi, who's the guy. There was the guy and there was a waitress.
Yes.
And it was, I mean, both their English was not great, which is understandable, but it was very, cute. And he was very nice. He was like, "Where are you guys from?" And we're like, "New Jersey."
Where Jodio's from.
He's like, "I've never heard of that before."
You not read Part 9 because that's where Jodio's from, and they go to New Jersey in Part 7.
And he was like, "California?" I was like, "No, we're like the other side." Yeah. But no, he was so nice. And
I didn't get a chance to talk to him or anything, but I wanted to get more drinks. If I would have gone there early if I knew how good it was, I would have just drank there all day.
Yeah, so basically
just big menu.
Yeah, so if you can explain.
So the menu is separated by parts for all the alcohol drinks. Some of the cocktails will list what they are or what's in them. Some will just say original cocktail, and those were all I got were original cocktails.
Yeah, me too. Some of them aren't even cocktails. Like I can't remember who it was.
Abakio has tea.
I wish I could remember. Yeah, some will be like even a non-alcoholic drink.
Tea.
But there was one that was like it was like someone from Part 2, and it was just like a Corona. Like so it's cute. Like they do a lot of stuff like that.
Some are quotes.
Yeah,
some
they
are
do
the stand.
quotes.
And some will just have original stuff to them as well. I will get to. They have food menu. They have like non-alcoholic menus as well.
Yeah. So one of the quotes I got a dojan, which was like I think it was like a Jaeger. It was kind of like a Jaeger bomb, but it was more of like as a cocktail. So it wasn't like it was probably a little bit less Jaeger.
And the Part 8 only goes up to halfway, like Damo essentially. That's the only thing.
Very funny. It ends like right where Part 8 the best part of part 8 ends.
Yes.
Like, which also, that was like my biggest disappointment. There was no Jodio. The only Jodio like reference
Ultra
was
jump.
they had the ultra jump, like that edition on the wall.
Yeah.
But they didn't have like a Jodio drink, or at least they didn't update the menu.
Yes.
Because if there were any other like signs, I would have noticed it. Like if there was like a special sign, I feel like I would have noticed that.
Yes.
I should have asked, but it's hard because like
language barrier.
So when we went, because we were there for a while and it was a little less busy, they actually would come over and like they had like an amazing stone mask replica.
Yeah, we didn't get that, unfortunately.
So me and Nick took photos of the stone mask, and then later they came by with they have like a sheer heart attack toy that you press the top of it and he starts doing like the sound effect and explosions.
That's so cool. I wish you got that. But yeah, all our coasters were like part 6 stuff. Like So I was only able to get like 2 drinks for it, because I guess by the time we wanted a 3rd drink, that's when last call was over. And I got the Johnny Joestar, which is somehow not the first drink listed on there. The gyro's listed first, which is very funny.
Oh, was it really? I don't remember that. Well, he is introduced first, so
he is the main character.
Yeah, I think you see Gyro before Johnny. I think
you see Sandman before you see either of them.
You do. It's true. He should have been first.
I can't really describe how the drink.
Sam, you mean Soundman?
And I can't describe what the drink tastes like, but it was like one of the most delicious drinks I've ever had. It was just like, you did not taste any alcohol. It was like super sweet. I said it was like orange. I have a picture of it. Jim will probably post it. You can post it on the episode.
What if it was just orange soda?
If it was, orange drink. It was Tang.
It was just Tang, yeah.
That should be a part 6 for a space drink.
Yeah, that'd be like the Evangelion bar.
And I got the vitamin C, which is a very citrusy. It's one of those original cocktails as well, so I don't have what it is.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's a very citrusy. There's like a slice of like lemon in there.
Yeah, when Sam says they're listed as original cocktail, that's like what they're called. Like they don't even tell you like what's in it.
If you go to Google Maps and type in Dio's bar, you kind of have a rough idea what the old menu looked like and like what the layout looks like, and it just says original cocktail.
One thing they said was like no photos of the menu. So
yes.
I was like, I'm not gonna be an asshole and take pictures of it. Like I'm not gonna.
Yes.
That could break the one rule they ask of me.
And I went there with my sister as well, and her husband and our friend Nick was there with us, and she got a Caprice, which is like the Pearl Jam. And she said this is she didn't know anything about JoJo. I told her if they asked you to say Jolene forever, drink you what.
Oh yeah, that's right. They do come by and ask your favorite character. Oh, they didn't.
No, but I would have got my drink anyway. But she got the what's it called, the Caprice, which is a tomato
salad.
mozzarella, if you don't know, and the plate has a Pearl Jam on it,
It's
like on top,
cute.
little figure of it. It's great, and she said it was the best she ever had, and she is very. Like, I'm surprised she ate it so fast, and she's not like, when something's good, but she does that. It's like phenomenal.
I got the only food I got there was the Oh Lonesome Me, which we know Mountain Tim stand.
Yeah,
and it was just a plate with 5 sausages on
5
it.
wieners with SPR
5 tiny
on it.
wieners with a little salad, and yeah, they wrote SPR with ketchup.
And also, my sister got a Hermes as well, and I forget what it was, but also really good. And then her husband got an Aerosmith, which was a screwdriver.
Yeah.
And so that's basically what we got. I forget what my friend Nick got for that session.
So the drinks that I got, the first one I got was the Jobin, because I love Jobin.
Yes.
And that was like a Malibu rum kind of pineapple-y drink. And then after that I got the Damo, which was probably my favorite. It was similar to the Jobin, but it was creamy.
Yeah, when you said you got the Damo, like, I'll get the vitamin C then.
Yeah, but so I get
a part 8 drink as well.
Yeah, I tried to get, so another thing too, if you ever go there, highly recommend, but they have little stars at some of the special drinks.
Yeah, I saw some of those.
So like Sex Pistols too. We got the Sex Pistols.
Yeah,
which is a star.
I also was so close to getting Born This Way if I didn't get the vitamin C. I was like, either that or vitamin C. I remember vitamin C.
I want to go back now. I wish I'd gone back.
I know. We talked about that. Like, we go back to Nakano. We're gonna try stop back there, but we didn't. I would just go there multiple days if I could.
It was so fucking cool. And but so yeah, I got the I'm trying to think what other drink. Oh no, the Damo was like a creamy. It was like a creamy sort of pineapple rum. Like, it was so fucking good. It was incredible. Probably close to like a pina colada, but like not frozen. But and it was like more citrusy.
You got to drink what he turns you into when he melts you.
Oh, I would drink myself. I'd be like Homer Simpson when his head gets turned into a donut. Just eat myself. But that was fucking delicious. So the Sex Pistols, it is very
This
cool.
is the most famous thing I think they have there. If you see a picture from this place.
So it's just 6 shots. They just give you 6 random
with
shots.
ice.
But the problem is they put an ice cube in each shot, which is the most evil thing I've ever seen a bar ever do. Because if you try and do a shot, you want to drink it quick. You don't want to hit like an ice cube. Because then you either have the ice cube with the fucking liquor sitting in your mouth longer, which you don't want it there, or you have to swallow the ice cube. So it's horrible. It was torturous. I don't know if it's supposed to represent like a bullet, but it was killing me.
I would have loved it if they had like all the shots, but one of them is like a Russian roulette kind of thing, where one of them is like the actual shot, like the orange the pistol itself.
That would be kind of funny.
But it did a nice presentation. They have a little sex pistol like on the revolver.
Yeah, the little like stuff, like what you said, the caprese salad, like the little Pearl Jam looks cool. They have so the Sex Pistols comes with like it's a half of a revolver, and then one of the little Sex Pistols is like on top of it.
Somebody was at the bar got that. They weird enough, the people at the bar, there was like a group of like 4 dudes. They were like opening up their figures that they bought like at the bar, like
fucking
they're
nerds,
like they're Chainsaw Man, like the one that's sitting on the counter. Like, why are you doing this here?
That's very embarrassing. I actually had because I went to Mandrake before then, and I got a few figures, and I had them there, and I could have done
fucking
that.
Nerds,
I didn't.
as I have my fucking mountains of Kamen Rider merch in my bag next to me.
There's like certain levels of like disrespect though. That's so unrespectful.
It was just very weird.
This was the I'm showing Sam the demo. It's very creamy. It probably was like a pina colada.
This honestly is like the thing I want to go back to the most.
They had these really cool like clay masks of a lot of the stands. One of the coolest was they had D4C.
D4C, they had Paisley Park was on there.
Yeah. Oh, so I had a million drinks. They were really good. But so the waitress came over and she asked us what our favorite characters were, and I was like Yasuo. She's like, oh Yasuo. And then our friend Nick was like, okay, Yasu, and she like lit up. She was so happy. She's like, oh, okay, Yasu. Like she was so happy that he said that.
Damn, I wish they came up for us for that.
I know. It was a very good experience. It's hard though because like it's such a tiny little bar and they were so busy the whole time.
Yeah.
When we were there was like an Australian couple that we chatted with for a bit.
They had the end of part 5 going on, like, literally the last like Requiem, and then Rolling Stones was going on TV.
Oh, that's funny. So they played the Oasis fight, and then they switched over to part 4, like right when like Shigechi dies. That's where because they have a TV and they're playing JoJo on.
Yeah, Rolling Stones, and then it just went to part 6.
Nice.
But no, great place you're ever playing Japan. Nakano's awesome. Like even
Nakano's like one of those areas you look around, you're like, this is like a place Japan. Oh, right before we went to that bar, Murph and I were walking, and I was just trying to take a picture of one of the cool I like alleyways because they look incredible with all the signs and lights. And there were these 2 big, huge, buff American guys walking by, dressed up as Madoka and Mommy from Madoka Magica, like with the dress and everything. And they thought I was taking a picture of them. And they walk over and like, hell yeah! They give us like fist bumps. And I'm like, you're fucking incredible.
I love you. So
they were so tall too.
But that's our JoJo portion, I guess. Is there anything else that JoJo related that we did?
I really can't think of any other. That was like the weird thing was like I go all these places in Japan, and it's like, all these like merch shops, and it's so often like just Jump stuff, not like hardly any JoJo. It's JoJo's like in a really weird position.
That Part
as a
8
franchise.
shirt was the most random thing I thought. It was the most weirdest color like shirt. So if you want to
see so much JJK, you see so much Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, One Piece.
One Piece is pretty. I mean, One Piece is like evergreen, but like as far as like the JJK stuff was kind of blown up.
If you want to hear more of our full Japan trip, you want to make an episode about it, let us know. You can hear about my Muscle Girl bar experience.
Oh, we didn't talk about that with you.
We could talk about like my diners as well. The some of the little shops, the micro pig store, the Kappa Street, the Kappa Street, my home. And you want to hear Jim's like journey around like to Mount Fuji, the Danganronpa Cafe, which it's incredible. I would love to hear you retell that on here.
Yeah, the Danganronpa Cafe was a lot of fun. It was so awkward though. Also, I did an onsen, which was incredible.
Okay,
that was like the hot springs.
Okay, I'm jealous of that.
That was like literally the highlight of my trip, I think, because it was like we just had like a few hours to kill before our bus back from Mount Fuji, and we just got naked and laid in a fucking hot, boiling pit of water with a bunch of naked Japanese men around us. It was awesome.
The equivalent to that is us getting gotcha bath bombs and then in the Airbnb and just like taking turns and sitting in the hot bath with the bath bomb and hear our figure.
That's so fun.
But it's really funny. The bath bombs were color coordinated to what you would have gotten because they had my sister had an Eevee one and it was like a yellow one, so obviously Jolteon.
Oh, I do want to say so the bathhouse experience was very interesting because you have to like clean off first. You have to like wash yourself off. Like no, you like soap. They want you to be clean when you go into the hot spring, and as I was getting clean, I made the mistake of turning around and because it's like 2 sets of like showers back. So I happened to turn around and I saw a Japanese man cleaning his asshole out. So not what I really wanted to see intentionally, but
that's the best health experience for you.
Certainly
Jim.
a memory that will never leave my brain.
Oh my god.
But onsen was incredible. Even with that experience, the onsen was incredible.
We went through one of those towns one of the parts of town that's like all those like lights up there with all the hosts and like girl.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know the difference of a Japan gentleman club and like a girl bar because
probably just host versus host.
Because the picture in America we hear gentleman club, you think it's gonna be a strip club essentially.
Yeah.
But when I see gentleman club over there, it's all pictures of dudes.
That's very funny. So it's probably just like a host club.
And then my sister's husband saw a butt just in the window, like a girl butt just in the window. Like we're
girl
not
butt.
It's like like the dancer butt. It was like it's part of the parts of like this is where I walk through when you play a Yakuza game. This Kamaru, that equivalent of that. Like,
oh, did you go to Golden Guy?
We might. Is it near?
It's the place
Shinjuku.
Yeah, it's in Shinjuku.
Okay,
it's
may have been
like where like the streets are really tight and like all the bars have like there's like 4 chairs for each bar.
That may have been.
There's like a million bars.
I don't know because it felt like a lot of host clubs and like that kind of stuff.
No, Golden Guy is
I was like,
mostly
man,
bars.
I'm pretty sure I fought a bunch of guys here in Yakuza 0 in that parking lot. Even has all the signs for it, all the guys on the signs for it.
We had a drink in one of the bars, and there was a Swedish guy there who was talking about like apparently the Golden Guy areas in Yakuza. He was kind of weird. We didn't like that guy.
I do want to kind of explore some of those debauchery towns, but I call them. But yes.
Golden Guy was so cool. If I ever go back to Japan, I'm definitely hitting Golden Guy up again.
But if you want to do a podcast, I guess fully talking about that or like.
I wouldn't be opposed. I would be down with that.
We have a lot in the meantime because during this trip, fucking
Attack on Titan
came out.
Sam, we need to watch it.
That's gonna be in our plugs. So should I plug it up?
Yeah, plug it up. I'm done with this.
All right, thank you all very much for listening. Again, thank you. If you like the podcast, leave a comment, subscribe. If you haven't already, you can leave when your name's shouted out, like we said earlier. You can leave a tip on the Patreon. Upcoming videos. The finale of JOKAKAKA on Titan is coming soon. I have avoided all.
You've avoided all spoilers?
I have avoided all spoilers. I have tried to turn off everything.
Fuck yes.
If you don't know, this Attack on Titan, I had not read or watched it before, and I'm just doing anime only. So if you want my live reaction to the finale, stay tuned.
I keep seeing memes and figures, and I'm just like, how is Sam avoiding all this fucking...
I've only seen Levi figures in Japan, really, and a couple Mikasa ones.
Yeah, that was another thing, too. Attack on Titan is not a heavily merchandised franchise.
I didn't find Aaron with his cock out with a towel over it, sadly.
Because you would have bought it immediately.
I would have. If I found the sexy peak, I would have, because the only peak figures that exist in the world. It's called. Also, we have Jujutsu Kai Quest. If you have our Jujutsu Kaisen anime only discussion recap podcast, who knows that's still going to go on because the treatment of those employees is horrible.
So it sounds like it's on a I did a little research. Sounds like it's Joe
17 may have been the last.
It's on like a hiatus right now.
Maybe
I think.
Because somehow Zero was made in 4 months, which is fucking insane.
That is a feature length film.
But
made in 4 months.
I'm hearing the anime is nuts still. Like. People,
I'm sure it is.
So I can't wait to watch that. So stay tuned for that. And...
Also, very funny. One last Japan mention. So we went to. I was there for Halloween, and I went to like Ikebukuro, and there was a big Halloween costume party, and there was a guy who was dressed as Jugo, the volcano guy, yeah. And then like the next day, I wake up. Sam sent me on Twitter. That guy, cosplay of that guy, like the same exact dude, and I was like, "Oh my god, I saw him in person!" And then Sam sent me on Twitter, a viral Twitter image of that. Kind of the craziest thing ever.
That's very funny.
Yeah.
And and you also can follow the podcast on Twitter or me and Jim separately, depending on how long that thing stays alive for. You can also, I think that's everything. I've plugged everything, I believe. And with that, we will see you next time. In Chapter 10, we're going to hit the big...
Oh my god, our first double dig
chapter for...
The big 1-0.
JoJoLands. Maybe we'll have an actual name for the cats somehow.
Oh yeah. I hope we get a little drop for that.
I'm excited. And with that, we will see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.